It is with a very warm heart that we welcome you to today's episode of Tax Matters. My name is Olumuyiwa Matuloko. How is the year 2015 unfolding for you? We wish you all the very best. Last episode on this program, we began to look at the use of enforcement in tax collection. We set out to look at the issue from various angles. What exactly is enforcement? What are the aims and objectives of enforcement? Or rather, when tax authorities go out on enforcement exercises, what do they strive to achieve? And with particular reference to the end of the year enforcement exercises embarked upon by various offices of the Federal Inland Revenue Service across the country, what was achieved. Because of time constraints, we couldn't look at all the angles that we set out to look at. That is what we intend to do today. If you want to prevent enforcement visits on your premises, if you want to keep your nose dry, what do you do? My name is Olumuyiwa Matuloko, and the program is Tax Matters.
Form A?
Yes, Form A.
Is it compulsory we fill this form?
They want to know our income from all sources.
So they can tax us unnecessarily. No way!
You don't need to hide it.
Sir, you too?
Me too.
You are still on this matter. Mr. James, you should be the one encouraging us. Moreover, you have other thriving businesses. They all know about it.
We know.
I earn less than everyone else here. I filled mine.
Oh yes, if you live in the Federal Capital Territory or work in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs or you belong to the armed forces, be it Army, Navy, Air Force or Police, or you are a foreigner, then this message is for you. Form A is a form filled by all taxable individuals to ensure proper and accurate taxation and must be filled and returned within January to March so that government can provide the amenities such as good roads, clean water, adequate security, quality education and much more. It is the responsibility of every employer to collect Form A from any FIRS office and distribute to their staff for completion. Failure to comply will be punished according to the law. This message is from the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS.
Welcome back. On this episode, we are continuing our focus on the use of enforcement as a tool for tax collection. Crew members of Tax Matters were always on the enforcement teams across the country. We spoke to two of those crew members to find out from them what they observed from the enforcement exercises. What were the issues thrown up, at least from their own perspective? You were part of those teams. What did you observe? What issues were thrown up?
One of the major issues that we had with the tax dodgers, so to say, was issues with their tax consultants or auditors. A lot of them would say, I would say, they had total dependency. Theirs is just come collect your money. They do not ask questions. As a business person, you should learn to ask questions about what is happening. And the thing is, most of their tax consultants or auditors are not resident in the company. So when you get there, they say, oh, let me call him. And some of them are just so confused on the phone. So a lot of them depend solely on their auditors without asking, have you filed our returns? What is happening with our taxes? Where have we gone? Also, some of these auditors do not tell them the true picture of what is going on with the FIRS. Maybe they've had cases of they had not filed for a while or certain issues. They don't tell the company, this is what is going on. While some tell the company, but they are trying to play some hanky-panky. Okay, don't worry. I know somebody in FIRS I can talk to. Some of them are my friends. I can maneuver it for you. We would look for a way, you know. Some of them claim total ignorance. Some of them would say, I don't want to deduct this from my sales because my customers will go somewhere else. That's where we're referring to VAT. While some will say, oh, I removed it though, I don't know where to send it to. Some of these companies have the money, but they do not want to pay. Why? Because the FIRS has always been the quiet civil type. They know the state boss to always harass them. So they will gladly go before those ones come. Somebody actually made that statement and said, when did the FIRS start coming out to get their money? He said when he heard that tax authorities were around, tax officials were around, he was gathering the state papers, but he was surprised when he saw FRS, and was like, FRS in my company, what have I done? So a lot of them have this money, but they just decide not to pay. Some claim business is down, business is poor. And then the FRS enforcement team would ask, did you come talk to us? Did you come tell us this is the situation on ground? You keep quiet, and then penalty keeps going on the so-called poor. It's not our fault. If we don't know what's happening with you, we cannot help you. On the part of the FRS, I would say they were civil enough, but you only see the harshness in them when they become uncooperative. Some of these companies, some of their officials were rude, really, really rude. Some of the officials were trying to be so tricky. They won't want to take you to the right offices. They'll keep taking you around or telling you the MD is not around, financial controller is not around. Almost everybody is not around. And then you want to ask, how is the business being run if everybody is not in the office? But by the time they now see, I remember there was a company where the chief security officer insisted that we're not going to go up. And then he kept saying, you won't go up. Nobody's around. Nobody's around. And when we wanted to take him away, they were about bullying him into the vehicle. The human resource manager and some other officials came down to talk to us. Why do you always have to allow that, get to that stage? Some companies don't even collect letters from the FRS. Their receptionist, they would tell them, do not collect anything that has to do with taxes. So, by the time you now get it, they do not claim, oh, we did not give such instruction, but why would the receptionist act like that? So it was different scenarios at different companies.
So you're saying that the FRS in its normal, gentle, civil way is probably being taken for granted, as opposed to if it were the state boards that was dealing with these people or the local governments. Exactly.
A lot of them they were shocked. It's something that they have never experienced, they have never seen. So some of them will start calling their friends. This is what happened in my company. At the end of the day, those ones, because they want to avoid embarrassment, start rushing down to the various FRS offices to do the right thing. Because they know that the FRS has always been quiet, to wait for you in our office, civil.
Which is how it should be. People are supposed to obey the law on their own, their own volition.
Exactly.
Would you say that the exercises were worthwhile? Is there anything to gain?
A lot. One, they have come to realize that the FRS, as much as it plays with them, as much as they smile with them, can also back and bite. They have come to realize that the FRS can be civil, but can also be harsh. They have come to realize that the FRS is working and they want to get their money. And then some of them have also even come to realize that the FRS has a very good open door policy. Because in the midst of you've not paid, at the end of the day, sometimes you just see everybody leaving, smiling, shaking hands, because they've been able to resolve, they've been able to talk. And some of these companies have been able to understand a lot of things that their auditors do not tell them. I remember one MD saying, I never like going to the tax office because you people are so harsh, so I keep sending my auditors. But I never knew you have fine faces like this in the FRS. So for me, it has built another brand image for the FRS. FRS is working. FRS is ready to go out and get what is theirs. And FRS can be civil in even doing it.
You were one of the cameramen that went out with those teams. What did you observe on the part of the officials of the company visited? How would you use those visits to those companies to assess the way the average taxpayer behaves?
See, thank you very much. There is one particular company that we went to, but I don't want to mention names. The man, to me, I saw the man like gold digger. Yes, let me just...
What do you mean by that?
Yes, okay, these people, see, he told us that, see, for the past 3 or 4 months, we have not been paying salary for staff. So, for God so good, the man, maybe one of his staff called him that FRS people, they are in our office, the next thing the man did, I think The man that drove his car come to meet us. Immediately, I put on my camera and I videoed the car. I videoed the car. As in, formatic. And I asked one of FIS people that, how much are they selling this car? I said, what, 25 million naira?
It's a lie.
What, 25 million naira? And it was saying, there's no money.
What major reasons did those company officials give for not voluntarily complying, for not fulfilling their obligations?
The main thing they say is that no market, as in
the business is bad.
Is bad. Country, as in,
Do you believe them?
I don't. As I was recording them, as in something came in to my mind that, come on, it's not taxes, it's not tax. Come on. This thing, like, let me say a little bit about VAT, value added tax. This VAT is very, very, very easy. As in this country, as in Nigeria now, we pay 5%. And then we have other country like 15%, like Ghana, 15%, 5%. And it's not as if you are paying it in your own pocket. I bought goods from you, and then you've already add VAT to it. Instead of you to now remit it to federal government, you say, okay, as in you keep on piling the money.
Now, back to our respondents. What can be said to have been achieved from the last enforcement exercises?
What would you say we have achieved from today's enforcement?
What we have achieved is that revenue that would have slipped off the federal government coffers are being recovered. Because FRS is about revenue generation. And the enforcement exercise we are carrying out today is the decision of the FRS top management and the federal government to embark on this exercise. So what we have achieved is that those recalcitrant taxpayers that have refused to pay before now are now paying. And that is not to say the necessary provisions of the law will not be evoked against them because they have breached the law. For instance, how will you expect a corporate organization to charge VAT? You are a mere custodian of that VAT. It's not your money. It's not the company's money. It's the federal government money. And you kept it to yourself. Same goes to other tax liabilities. Where liabilities have been established, assessment notices have been served on you, demand notices have been served on you as a company, as corporate organizations. You are expected as responsible citizens of this country, responsible corporate organizations operating on the soil of this country to pay whatever liabilities that is accrued to you. But we're in a situation where you have 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, no filing. Not filing itself is an offense. We're now talking of a deliberate refusal to file or to pay taxes, which is a constitutional responsibility of any citizen or corporate organization in this country. So the enforcement will call me. And what we do simply is what we have done. We'll move against such company. Where necessary, we'll make arrest. And where necessary to, we prosecute. We charge them to court because these are criminal offenses after we must have concluded our investigation.
Now, have the objective been met so far?
Yeah. So far, so good. Because we have enforced some companies, it sent jitters to others. I mean, it sent a kind of signals to others. So they become jittery. Many of them have come out to the tax office to start rendering their returns. Some that are owing money have started coming forward to ask for how they can be paying instrumentally.
So what is the outcome of the enforcement exercise as of now?
Quite a number of companies have been visited, and some of them have instantly made payments, and some have made undertakings. And we are also following up the undertakings. And we believe that in no distant future, they will also learn that yes, government today, or rather the Federal Inland Revenue Service, is not as it used to be. We can back and bite.
I think we can say that the visit has yielded some positive response, because some of them have had cause to sign payment agreements with us, and as we speak, some of them have been paying.
What has been the response so far? How has it affected the bottom line of the FIRS?
Well, since the enforcement started, the response has been quite encouraging. There are even some taxpayers, once they know that their neighbors have been enforced and they realize that they still have some things to do, some have been running to the Federal Inland Revenue Service office to file their returns. I think the enforcement is sending the right signal. Before, people believe FRS will not do anything, but they now know that FRS can not only back, but also bite.
Mr. Ajayi Bamidele is the Coordinating Director, Field Operations Group at the FRS. He is the garrison commander in charge of the foot soldiers, the taxmen and women on the field.
So lately, the FRS has embarked on massive enforcement exercise. Now we want to know what has been the response so far. How has it affected the bottom line?
Thank you very much. If you recall, 6 months back, we have been emphasizing and encouraging taxpayers to go ahead and make their filing and payments before we embark on the enforcement. But going by the question you asked, it has been positive in the sense that, yes, the first phase of it is to make companies to file their returns, and we've been getting positive responses to that. And the other aspect of it is also on payment. And payment have been coming in. We've been having engagement with so many tax payers, particularly those that were cash-strapped before. They are now forthcoming. And some, knowing that this enforcement is ongoing, they've started making efforts to come around to effect their payments, even file their tax returns.
How do I keep my nose dry? How do I stave off enforcement visits from the tax authorities?
I am now advising all taxpayers, all companies, to please make sure that they go to their relevant MSTO and the relevant tax offices in their areas where their files are domiciled to pay their taxes. Payment of taxes attach no additional fee apart from the established liabilities, as we may have been briefed or notified by the FRS staff and auditors. So breaching the law is not the solution, because the law will always take its course. So the enforcement will not fold its arms, the enforcement unit of the FRS will not fold its arms and see the laws being breached with all impunity. The law is the law. It's not made for the fun of it. The law is made to be obeyed. It's made to be complied with, and they'll be sensitized. There have been various series of seminars. There have been series of symposia at various levels of FRS to taxpayers, and they've been educated, rub mind, we shared ideas, there've been cross-fertilization of ideas and other things. So there's no reason of saying I am ignorant of XYZ. There are handbills we've printed out over the years during our seminars at various levels, telling them the offenses that are attached to some of their act or refusing to comply with the law. So the companies out there should, as a matter of constitutional obligation, to go out, go to FRS and pay their tax liabilities as at when due, to avoid any embarrassment, because we would henceforth continue, it's a continued exercise, we will henceforth continue to go after any of the taxpayers that refuse to comply with the provisions of the law as regard payment of taxes.
To taxpayers out there, you want to avoid enforcement. What is the way out?
If you don't want the tax officers to carry out enforcement against your organization, what is expected is that you should comply with the provisions of the law, because taxation is about law. Pay your taxes, file your returns as at when due, and you will be treated like a king by FRS. But if you fail to do all those things that you are expected to do, FRS will move against you and ensure that, okay, you comply with the provisions of the law. That is our duty, and that is what we intend to be doing going forward.
We want a collective compliance. We want to, stimulate self-compliance. Those that have been forcefully enforced this day will not need to be enforced again next time, because we believe they've learned some few lessons that they will also comply the next time, because they may not want us to visit them this way again. And this is one of the issues that we also have an advantage of. Secondly, the exercise itself is expected to cascade some kind of signals, not only for those that we have enforced, but to those who are perhaps maybe unwilling to, or rather they are indeed delaying, payments of government. The moment they realize that yes, government can always enforce them embarrassingly, they will always make efforts to be self-compliant.
Now, we just want to tell taxpayers, if you don't want the enforcement team to visit you, what is the way out?
Now, sincerely speaking, we are not even interested in the enforcement. What we are interested is self-assessment and compliance in their payments. And for the enforcement not to visit you, the best thing for you is to take steps, carry out your self-assessment to effect your payments. And where you cannot even pay at once, come to FRS and come up with your payment plans. We can always agree on the payment plans, and that will make life easier for both the taxpayer and the revenue.
Correct, Baba! Correct, Baba! My name is Chinedu. I am MD CEO, God Divine Wealth International Ventures Nigeria Limited. I get shop everywhere for Abuja. People, they help me. They want to be correct Baba like me. But no be that one, they make me correct Baba. Now say I dey obey the law, and then I dey see better thing from government. That is why I go to collect my own Form A. Myself don't become correct Baba. No, you're my guy. Go collect and fill your own Form A. Sharp.
If you dey live for Abuja, abi you dey work for Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs, abi you be first man, Army o, Navy o, Air Force o, or even our friend police, or even foreigner, this story na for you. Form A na the form where you go fill make you take pay your correct tax, and you must to collect and fill your own between January and March every year. Make your government for fit to provide good things for you to jolly like good road, correct water, ogbonge education, light wey no dey shake eye, good security, and other merchant them. Now oga supposed to go collect Form A from any office of Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS) and share to people where they work with them. But if you refuse to collect your own Form A, law go gbab you. This story that from Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS).
That concludes our two-part serial on the use of enforcement as a tool for tax collection. A word they say is enough for the wise. to avoid the kind of embarrassment, the penalties and the sanctions that go with enforcement, decide today to turn a new leaf. File your returns on time, pay due taxes on time. VAT is every month, withholding taxes every month, company's income tax is once in a year. Tax officers call it due date. And we also enjoin you to keep a date with us on this same station next week, same day of the week, same time of the day. It will be a brand new episode of Tax Matters for information and education that will set you free. Have a blessed week ahead.